Hey guys, Redrix here. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. If you're not, well, just know that I'm here for you. My community's here for you. If you want to become and be a part of our community, just be sure to click that subscribe button down below. But let's get into today's video. Now, today's video will be the topic of exotic shaders. Now, we're going to first talk about the idea of an exotic shader concept, then we're going to talk about the rewards, how it could benefit the overall game of Destiny 2, and then we're going to go into some examples. Now I just want to point out here, a lot of creators have made videos on this. We made videos last year on this idea that was supposedly, going to happen in reality, and then Bungie, of course, didn't do that and made it into like a whole other legendary shader at the very last minute. Now, Crips made a video on this a while ago. A lot of other creators made videos on this idea, but I haven't actually made a video, talking about the concept and then talking about my feedback and opinions on it. So let's get right into that. For an exotic shader, my basic idea of it is that it has to have a unique visual appearance, obviously being a shader to your Guardian, but it must offer unique and eye-catching designs, making your character stand out from the crowd. This can be especially appealing to players who value personalization and self-impression. That is my first basic idea of an exotic shader, and I think a lot of you guys can follow along with those lines. So if we want to have exotic shaders be on that type of surface, we need to have how to obtain an exotic shader be a high reward, high achievement of your said Guardian. Now, I made videos all over Lightfall on the Guardian rank system not being the best system that I personally liked. If you liked it, that's your opinion, good. But for me, I did not enjoy it because it did not give us any good rewards, and it just made the system fall off completely, and a lot of my friends don't even care for Guardian games, which is just, depressing after a system that Bungie put time and effort into for it not to play out, and I hope Bungie offer unique changes to that said system. But with exotic shaders, this could help out the Guardian rank system, offering a high reward, and hopefully, if Bungie was going to do it, it needs to be very appealing. Now, going into my third part with this is that we are going to talk about, how to obtain a said exotic shader and how it can benefit the game before we get into the examples. Now, by making exotic shaders in the game, you need to go into that rare difficulty factor. Now, depending on where that exotic shader comes from, maybe a PvP or PvE, game, we need to go into, okay, would it be an RNG type of focus, or would it be more you have to do a hard quest or play something a lot to then said get it. Now, that kind of comes in with you guys' feedback, and if you want to, tell me your feedback on this, please put in the comments down below which route you would go, because there has been a lot of people, complaining about RNG lately. Look at the fishing model, you know what I mean? So it's stuff like that. But if we were going to go into that, RNG type factor, or if we were just going to go in any line we choose, the exotic shaders must be rare in difficulty to obtain. They can become highly sought after items in the game. They can create a sense of achievement and accomplishment for players to manage and get. In-game economy. Now, introducing exotic shaders can add an interesting dynamic to the in-game economy, creating new trading opportunities and driving demand for various items and resources. Now, I know this might sound a bit going off topic, might sound an idea that I'm saying in the game would ruin the game and blah, 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 blah. Trading is something that I still have an idea of, and I still think about it to this day. I might make a video entirely on it, and I know many of you are like, well, a lot of you would be down for it, and a lot of you would hate that idea to have trading implemented into Destiny 2. Of course, we don't know yet, and there has been a lot of things that has been said in the past that of course can be worked around into the game, and it can be until time comes around, we can make of course feedback and opinions on it if it's helping or not helping the game. If trading was to happen in the game, because apparently in Destiny 1's beta back in 2013 2014 there was actually a UI that showed that trading would be implemented, but it was taken out. So if we were going to go in that route, exotic shaders would be amazing. But I know that's kind of like a far off feature, and we don't know if that will ever happen. I get that, but time will tell once we get into the final shape. Time will tell when we go into Destiny in the next saga. So if trading does happen, we never know what exotic shaders could be around, if we could even craft them. That kind of goes into my other idea, if exotic shaders could be crafted from legendary shaders. Think about it this way. We always craft our weapons, right? We don't craft armor, but we always craft weapons. How cool would it be if we could craft ghost shells, sparrows, ships, and shaders? These would of course use the resources that you would usually typically find, or new resources that we don't really use, and then we could implement that into actually creating a exotic version of something. Now don't get me wrong, exotic ghosts, shaders, and sparrows already exist in the game, and I know there's no longer, there's not even a higher rarity to those, but for shaders there's not an exotic shader yet, so the rarity is capped out at legendary. So creating something or merging shaders together with high intense resources, there you go, you would get a exotic shader. The collection and completion part of this: for players who enjoy collecting and completing sets of items, exotic shaders can add another layer of depth and enjoyment to the aspect of the game. Acquiring a full set of exotic shaders can be challenging and a rewarding goal for these players. Now listen to me with this. Seasons don't really get all that loot, it doesn't have a huge capacity of loot every season, and that's just the sad truth about it. We don't get all the loot we want. Seasons are always capped out at a certain, I'm not a game developer, I'm trying to make it the best I can, but basically seasons won't be very huge. And exotic shaders could, add a lot of more resources to that said season, and Bungie might, if they were going in this idea, might only make, if they were going to make any, only one exotic shader in the game. But over time, if a new light player came in the game for 3 years from now, or 2 years from now, right, every season gets one exotic shader, that would build up. Every expansion maybe gives you 3 or 2 exotic shaders into the API. Boom, you have a lot of exotic shaders for a Guardian to go grind out. Now, these exotic shaders, we haven't even talked about, the next part is really the design idea of it. And that kind of comes down to, other examples of people, because we don't have definite examples of things that Bungie would add for an exotic shader, obviously. But Crips made a video of a Taken shader that I will show on screen, which, again, huge credit to him because I believe he photoshopped this. But already, with the season being called Season of the Deep, this would be excellent for Bungie to add a Taken shader to the game. Taken has been an crucial part to the lore, and with the season being called Season of the Deep, I only could see maybe a water type aspect, aqua type shader, and a Taken shader become reality. That would be amazing. Another huge example, as we're in the throne world with the gameplay, as you guys can see, if we were ever going to go back to the throne world to maybe resurrect Savathûn, how cool would it be if there was some type of hive or rogue type magic, resin, I don't know what the exact power, hive magic, corruption, whatever it is, right? Of course it won't be a subclass, unfortunately, but having the idea of having it as an exotic shader, because of course the new dungeon gave us dungeon gear that looks amazing, that is basically hive dungeon gear. Obviously, having that idea of coming into the game with a shader that could literally, enhance a Guardian's personality, that would be even awesome. But that kind of comes down to, what Bungie would do if they were in these shoes, Seasons are, of course, ever-changing, limited time events, because usually at the end of a year, seasons go away, and those content to that said, season would be rid of, except for stuff like a dungeon. And maybe the loot will come back come back over time later on, but exotic shaders can be introduced into these seasons to help celebrate a seasonal accomplishment or a milestone, can keep the game fresh, exciting, and encouraging players to return and partake in these said events. Look at fishing. Even though despite the timegation, which I hate for the other exotic fish, and despite the drought sometimes with Destiny, people just want to go and play the game now and just go and fish. how cool would it be if there was exotic shaders and you could craft them and you could go and look amazing, and you would have to do small tasks or something, and they could maybe integrate into the Guardian game system, and then there you go. That basically, you know, puts it out there that, hey, let's go grind this. Let's go get something that could really show off our Guardian, and that's kind of where I'm getting at with this video. I hope you guys do get that idea, but yeah. This is my idea, exotic shaders implemented into the game, Bungie. Please do it. Let me know your thoughts on this video, because it's a bit different from my other videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.